Welcome back to Trackside here at Queensland Raceway. It's the Formula Holden's Race 2, and this is how they will line up. Series leader Simon Wills, after 7 wins in 99, looks good from teammate Ramsey, Staff, Dumbrell, Breed and Hill. Damien Digby back off row 5 with Roger Oakshott. Lars Johansson returns. Les Crampton, Akihiro Asai, Tim Lay a little further back. So too the reigning Formula Ford champ, Adam Macro. This should be an interesting one, Neil, on a new circuit with these very high-powered machines. Ready to go. Watch the 2 Barana cars from the front row. Simon Wills blasts off the line. A dynamite start. His teammate Brenton Ramsey tries to stay with him as they hit the first turn. Peter Hill slots nicely into 4th in the Globe Reynard. Now we've had a problem there in turn 1. That looks like it could be Adam Macro. No, it's Akihiro Asai who's tangled in turn 1. And there's his teammate Adam Macro, who is stalled on the line or has suffered some sort of a problem.
Yes, and it remains to be seen whether they can get that car out of the way before the cars come around to complete their first lap. But Wills made an excellent start. Lee had his choice of line going down into turn 1, used it wisely, has opened a gap, and you can see that he's in good shape now as he comes through the middle complex 4 and 5.
Well, it's a very important race, this one, for series leader Simon Wills. If Chris Starr finishes how he has to finish second to stop Simon Wills from winning the championship. Now, we've seen the safety car. There it is. It is out on the circuit, so there is Macro with his hand in the air. Officials out on the track. Now, those cars are coming at speed. This is a dangerous situation.
That's naughty. That's very naughty.
Well, mayhem at Queensland Raceway. Here's a replay of turn 1. What do you make of this, Neil Crumpton?
A little bit hard to see from that angle just precisely what's gone on, but certainly the rear wing has come adrift from the back of Asai's car. Just typical corner 1 mayhem, really. We might see more from this onboard shot. Standing start down to turn 1, everyone jockeying. 3 and 4 cars trying to make room. Whoops, now Asai's been tagged from behind there, it looks. But it's a frantic time. I mean, it's so hard sometimes to work out who did what to whom. It's certainly 2 or 3 cars involved in that, and Asai won't be going any further. And the SC board stands for safety car, and there it is. Simon Wills, the leader.
Good to see young Paul Dumbrell up there as well. He's running 3rd at the moment as the carnage is cleared from turn 1. We get ready to go back under green, under race conditions. Away we go. It's Simon Wills who leads the way from Recruitment Racing, Challenge Recruitment Racing's Chris Staff in 2nd position. And then we pick up Paul Dumbrell in the wins car, who's coming under a little bit of pressure there for that 3rd position. In fact, he's lost it. Ramsey is now up into 3rd.
Chalk and cheese difference between this racetrack and the way in which you set up for it by comparison to our last round, Lee, at Sandown. Sandown's a little bumpier, a little faster in a couple of places. This joint is billiard table smooth. That allows the drivers and their engineers to properly lower the cars, keep that critical height between the floor and the road down to a minimum, and possibly make the cars just a little nicer to drive.
There's Roger Oakshott, the Adelaide-based competitor, a doctor when he's not racing. This is series leader Simon Wills. As we said earlier, has 7 wins under his belt. If Chris Staff, the Kiwi, remains in 2nd position, he will stop Wills by just 1 point from taking out this year's Australian Drivers' Championship, and he'll have to wait till he goes to Calder to take it out. That's if positions remain as is. This is Peter Hill in the Globe Reynard, the ex-Greg Murphy car, in fact still owned by Greg's father Kevin. And he's battling with Canberra-based Dale Breed in the Repsol Reynard.
Interested to know, Lee, that these cars are racing in the region of about 6 to 7 seconds a lap faster than a V8 supercar.
Amazing.
Gives you some idea of the performance of these things. Now, as you know, 1 second in racing is an eternity. So to be 6 and 7 seconds faster, whoa, big problem here.
That's Oakshott.
Oakshott wide at the exit of turn 2. Trapped so many drivers this weekend in all categories. Just has a very unusual end radius, and you can just run wide on the ripple strip. And these cars, that's a problem because, look, you've got no gap under the car, or next to no gap. It's done huge damage to the front wings. The radiators are jammed full of grass and garbage. The water temperature will skyrocket very quickly. I'd expect Oakshott to come to the pit this lap.
Yeah, Roger's going to have to bring that in. That car will be going nowhere. Here's a replay.
Well, exactly as I said, ran wide on the exit of 2. He's out there dragging divots up all over the place. Grabs the brake to just make sure he doesn't go backwards into the fence. Just going for a ride at the moment. It'll be sitting on its belly on that grass, so the car will go any which way it wants to. There's the yellow flag flying. Tells the other competitors to be very careful and not to pass. This is the race leader.
Not too hard to drag up that grass, though, because it's very soft here. They've had a lot of rain, and also it's freshly laid turf. Chris Staff in the challenge car in second position, and there is the second Barana racing car, Brendan Ramsey, the Adelaide-based team. Ramsey himself lives in Coolum Beach in Queensland on the Sunshine Coast. Here's Paul Dumbrell in the wins entry, and a really solid run by him at Sandown, and also here at Queensland Raceway. Has seen this young guy get some good racing miles under his belt. He's being hassled by Matthew Halliday, who coming into this round leads the Formula Holden Rookie of the Year series. So that indicates that it's been a great year so far for Matthew Halliday.
Really easy to pass on. There'll be a lot of passing going on, I think, in the Formula Holden and the Formula Fords, and hopefully we can be up the front doing the passing for the lead.
Well, speaking of passing, he's just taken young Victorian driver Paul Dumbrell.
Dumbrell's car looked after by Gibson Motorsport and Trevor Schumack. In fact, Schumack and Paul Dumbrell and his father Gary went across to the States to Portland to take a look at Indy Lights racing a couple of weeks ago. Indy Lights very similarly related to this category. Similar engines, same basic style of motor car, perhaps a little more horsepower, probably a little less sophisticated aerodynamically, but the final stepping stone to Indy car competition where some of these drivers are looking towards for their futures.
Well, this guy at the moment is almost unstoppable. Simon Wills down the main straight. If you want to stay in touch with Formula Holden, www.fholden.asn.au for results, for team info, for driver info, all the stats. You can stay up to date. We look back at one of the challenge cars. That is Chris Staff, currently running in second, and is quite a way behind our race leader.
Lee, I made a point earlier about the performance of these cars. You might be interested to know where the performance comes from. They brake in roughly half the distance of a V8 supercar, and they corner probably anything from 25 to 45% quicker than the touring car, but they're probably a little bit slower in a straight line. Final lap now, and Wills is going to make a very fine job of this one.
Well, if nothing goes untoward on this last lap, Simon Wills will equal Jason Bright's Formula Holden record of 8 wins in a season. And Bright won the championship in 1997, and he and Jason Bargwanna were the main contenders. But he will fall short by just 1 point from taking out this year's Australian Drivers' Championship. This is his teammate Brendan Ramsey, who we must say has dramatically improved as the season has progressed, but it is the Kiwis' day again. 8 wins in season 1999. Well done to the Barana Racing driver Simon Wills. Challenge Recruitment Racing's Chris Staff, a third in race 1, a second in race 2, and the second Barana car, Brendan Ramsey, will pick up third in a very solid drive. Final placings, Matthew Halliday back there in 4th, from Paul Dumbrell in 5th. Peter Hill, well done in his first meeting in 6th. Breed and Crampton. Here's Greg with our race winner.
Well, 2 starts, 2 wins here this weekend for the Barana engineering team, and it was Simon Wills. Well done.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, it was a bit hotter this afternoon in the second race. It was pretty hard, but it was pretty greasy at the start. There was a car laying down a lot of oil. I think there must have been, because I was slipping all over the place, but yeah, it came right sort of near the end, and I managed to get the win. You
came close to wrapping up the championship here this weekend. I think you won something like 8 races so far this season, but you might have to wait to the next round.
Yeah, there's 8 races, but yeah, I need 1 more point at the next round, so here's hoping I'll get it.